Happy Thanksgiving from Hawaii. So we are going to attempt to make some pumpkin pie because I made one last weekend to try out for today because I didn't want it to be a total flop. Well, it was. It was kind of the consistency of pecan pie minus the pecans. So when you cut into it, kind of oozed all over the place and it just wasn't okay. And it was super, super, super sweet. So I'm going to cut down on some of the maple syrup that I put in this one. And this is a completely different recipe, more cornstarch because you don't put eggs. You're going to have something to make it set up. So, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully this one comes out better. Joe's just saying happy Thanksgiving. So in my pie dish, I have a vegan pie crust from Whole Foods. In the blender already, I have 1 can of organic pumpkin. And this does have a different consistency than like the Libby brand. It's a little runnier, it kind of pours out. And then a can of coconut milk. Well, 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk, not an entire can. And to this, the recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And since we don't eat sugar, I'm only gonna put a 1/2 cup of maple syrup and then probably some molasses to kind of make up for the brown sugar, since brown sugar we know is white sugar and molasses. So 1/2 cup of maple syrup, because maple syrup is super sweet. In case you didn't know. We have all the doors and windows open because it's like 85 degrees and 100% humidity and all that good business, and we try not to turn on the air conditioner until we absolutely have to, because I have 1 tablespoon of molasses I'm going to throw in here. Because if you, Tucker is mad at something. Somebody must be weed eating on Thanksgiving. That's like his nemesis. So we have the maple syrup, and we're going to put 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract in here. Now we need a 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch, which is a decent amount of cornstarch. But the last recipe I used was only 3 tablespoons, I think, of cornstarch, maybe 4, not near enough. So we are going to go with the whole 1/4 cup of this recipe because I think that's would have made a difference, although the taste, it still would have been far too sweet for the pie, but we're definitely going to use the whole 1/4 cup and pray for the best here. Now, we need 3 teaspoons of our pumpkin pie spice. If I can find my teaspoon here. So 3 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie spice. 1, 2. I'm almost out of pumpkin pie spice. Imagine that. 3. A little extra in there because I was almost out. There we go. And then some salt. So it's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to measure it because we got these fancy electric grinders because everything we use we have to grind up. So we're just going to kind of throw some in there and see what happens. That's stuff good. Okay. Blender and blend it up. Probably insert some music because this thing is loud as can be and nobody needs to hear that. So it's about 30 seconds in the Vitamix, so we'll see. Oh, it's definitely thick. I might go a little bit longer to thicken it up, but I forgot to preheat my oven, so I better get that going. There we go. And let's try the filling and see what we think as far as... That tastes just like pumpkin pie, and I don't think it needs any more sugar, because we do have this whipped cream. It's in a can. Where is it? Right here. We have this organic heavy coconut cream. And so you just chill it and then throw it in the, I guess you could do it in the blender or a hand mixer, but I throw it in my KitchenAid mixer, and it makes the best whipped cream, and you don't need to add sugar. It's sweet enough, and it's amazing. I'm pretty sure that Cool Whip, which we all love, is vegan, but it's just oil, and that's another thing we don't eat is oil. So anyway, I'm going to blend this up for another 30 seconds because I really like the consistency of it, and I think the more I blend it, the thicker it's going to get. I'll be right back. I think that it could use a little bit more sugar, so we're going to add 1/8 of a cup of maple syrup, additional to the half that we put in, because we need a little extra sugar in there so it doesn't just taste like spiced up pumpkin puree. All right, here it is. Nice and thick. We're going to pour it into the dish here. It looks good.
How'd it taste?
We didn't try it because we're just going to wing it, because we're not going to put any more sugar in it. So it is what it is, and we have the whipped cream that'll add some sweetness to it a little bit, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to throw this in the oven when it gets preheated, and then I will show you what it looks like when it comes out, and then probably a taste test and whatnot. So I'll be back. So the pie is out of the oven and has been in the fridge for a while. It is now 5:15, so it's probably been chilling for 6 hours or so. So I'm going to make the whipped cream. So you just take this and you put it in the mixer. This is what it looks like. And you blend it up. There's like water underneath. And the colder the better, obviously. This whipped up. And while that's whipping, let's cut this pie. It comes right out, so that's good news. Let me get a plate. Looks like pumpkin pie. It's nice and firm-ish. I think it came out pretty good. And the whipped cream. Get that. Put a dollop on there. Get a fork. Let's try a piece. See what we think. It's really good. I'm impressed. So this is definitely the new pumpkin pie recipe in our house, since we don't eat eggs. So that's it for Thanksgiving. I'll insert a picture of our meal on our plates. Nothing out of the ordinary, just kind of all sides, and I made them vegan. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you hit that bell icon, you'll get the notification every time I post a new video. Bye.